Peace and blessings. Hey, everyone. Hey, I am back, darlings. I am back with something else. Okay. Hey, if you're just now returning, you're a returning subscriber. Hey, how you doing? My name is Doris. Hey. And if you are a first timer and you're just now tuning into my channel, hey, how you doing? My name is Doris Spencer Shackleford. I am your spiritual transformation coach, your certified master life coach, and your certified Reiki master, as well as an ordained minister. I am a life coach. I am a spiritual healer and teacher. Now, see, y'all like that, right? Y'all like that opening? Hey, everybody, I'm just real with it, okay? I'm just myself, and I'm just here to deliver what God has given me. God, source the divine, from whom all blessings flow, to give to you what was given to me. And so I have to give it to you, Lord. It was given to me, loves. And sometimes you may get an accent every now and then, but guess what? I love you all so very much. So guess what? I'm just going to be myself. Can't be anyone else but myself. I want to talk to you about something that's really important on a spiritual journey, on a spiritual transformation journey, why most people don't like to go on them. And it's this thing that starts with a C. It's this thing that starts with a C, and most people don't want to go through it because it is the most intense, most personal, and the most agonizing, confusing, unearthing situation you could possibly go through in your life. It is called the spiritual chrysalis. And you're like, what is a spiritual chrysalis? What is a chrysalis, period? It is you being someplace away from everyone else while you go. Did y'all see that? My jaw just puffed out. All that air just came out of nowhere. You being a spiritual chrysalis, separated from everyone else in a nice little cozy spot. Believe me, you go through these. When you're ready, you will go through them. Sometimes you're not even ready for them, and Spirit says, "Up, it's time." And you're in this little. It's a little area you go through in your life, a little season that you go through in your life, where some people call it hibernation, some people call it hermit mode, some people call it a spiritual awakening, a journey. I like to call it the spiritual chrysalis. Let me tell you why. Because usually during that time, you are dealing with spirit. You are dealing with God. You are dealing with yourself. You are learning who you are and what you like and what you don't like. You're learning what hurts you, what you're still healing from. Most people don't like it because it's in fucking tense. Yes, I do curse too. You may not like me. Every goodbye makes room for another hello. But I'm serious. You're sitting there and you're in this spiritual chrysalis and you're like, you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to turn to. You don't know if the sky is blue, green, yellow, or orange, or so on and so forth. You're not really concerned with it because all you're concerned about is why does it hurt so much? Why people don't like to go on a spiritual journey or be in a spiritual chrysalis. Because it requires you to face self. During these times is when you really have to go within. You have to do what I like to call the inner work. It's serious. It is not something that anybody else can help you do but source, God, the divine, from whom all blessings flow. And you have to understand that. No matter what anybody tells you, oh, for me, it was just me going across the country and learning different things, like the movie Eat, Pray, Love. Nothing wrong with that. Some people don't have that luxury of traveling across Europe. Not yet, anyway. And if you do, congratulations. For me, it started after my father and my husband passed away. And then I decided I was going to go to Thailand. And I went to Thailand. It was the beginning of the end. Dun dun dun. It was. It was really the beginning of the end for me. It was the ending. It was the beginning of a spiritual journey, but it was the ending of it was the ending of the old me and my old way of thinking. Like it was the chrysalis of my transformation. It was where I started making all of the materials it takes in order to provide myself with a chrysalis. At that time, I was fresh, I was bare, I was raw. You know, my dad had passed away, my husband had passed away. Every little thing, I was like, I don't understand it. Why? Why? I kept doing it. Why? Why is it always me? Why? I kept asking why. Not what am I supposed to learn from this? But guess what? Over time, I realized while being in, and it never stopped. It never stopped. It didn't stop until recently, as of last year. And I went to Thailand in 2019. So while I was functioning and going through things, I didn't realize what I wanted to do, if I wanted to still be a life coach, if I still wanted my business, or if I wanted to start being a physical trainer, or if I wanted to be, I was going through all of the motions, if I wanted to start back modeling again, if I wanted to act again, which I do. Modeling and acting is in me. It's just something I like to do. I'm a retired model, actually. I can get back in it if I want to. Have a profile up and everything. Don't play. Okay, so I realized that that whole time I was in a chrysalis. And at first I didn't know I was in a chrysalis. I just thought I was just going through the motions. You don't know what you want. As long as your children are taken care of, you don't know what you want. Travel, meet new people, open yourself up to another world. And I did. Like I said, every goodbye makes room for another hello. Okay? But during the time you're in a chrysalis, you don't know what is up. You have aches and pains, emotional things. You start crying out of nowhere. And I do mean that. You literally you have, you get misty from TV. You get misty from emotions that you haven't even began to to discover, things that bother you that you didn't even know that bothered you. I don't know why my top keeps doing that. It needs to stop. She needs to stop. Stop it, honey. And you didn't even know that things bothered you. Somebody will say something and it becomes a trigger. Everything is a trigger for you when you're in a spiritual chrysalis. Everything is a trigger, and you start to notice things a little bit more. You start to notice, oh my gosh, what is that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't feel good right here. You're raw. And most people don't like being raw to the emotions, raw to the truth about this is unhealed. When you are in a spiritual chrysalis, let me tell you, most people aren't around you. When you exclude yourself from everyone because you got some shit to work out. And that's just true. I told you I curse. I cuss a little bit. You got shit to work out. You're not going to be around everybody. You're not going to want to, because you're going to want to find out, why am I crying at these little movies? Why when I see a couple now, I'm emotional? Why when I see an older couple, I now realize that's what I want for myself? Why am I crying? Why I find myself in a ladies' room or in a men's room just crying my eyes out. I can't even explain it, because you're in a spiritual chrysalis. And most spiritual chrysalises Chrysalis, there we go. Chrysalis are not explained because people don't know how to explain them. People just call it a dark night of the soul. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's dark. It is dark. But see, when I say a spiritual chrysalis, you think, oh, butterfly, because that's what you're doing. You're transforming. You are. You're going through something that you've never gone through before, and it's an awakening like no other. And most people don't want to go through it because it requires you to be by yourself. This is a lone journey. You become the lone horseman. You're doing it all by yourself, physically, but spiritually. You have a whole spirit team. You start seeing things. Nobody wants to go through it because you begin to see the truth. You start waking up to, oh, that's not me anymore. You'll start noticing that you aren't the person that people said you were. That doesn't fit you anymore. That doesn't suit you. Your job does not satisfy you anymore. 1111, as I said that. People say, oh, they're going through a midlife crisis. People have different names for them. Oh, let's say a wife gets divorced. Her husband decides he wants to leave. He doesn't want to be married to her anymore. So they get a divorce, and now you see, however old she is, she's walking around in a shorter skirt. The blouse is lower. She has her cleavage out. She's changed her hair. She's wearing makeup now. She's wearing different kind of jewelry. She is embracing who she is because this is who she was in the first place. And everyone's saying, that's what people do when they go through, no. They've realized that all this time they've been cooped up into a formation, a mold that wasn't even them. See, a spiritual chrysalis is something that you go through and you really find out who you are. And it is a lonesome and a hurtful thing, darling. Most people go through them, and sometimes they don't even think they're coming out on the other side because it requires you to be real with self. And self can be a fucking bitch. Not karma, honey. Self. Because you have to address everything about yourself. And I mean everything. How you treat yourself, how you haven't been treating yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you haven't been talking to yourself, taking time with yourself, understanding that you are worthy of whatever it is you give yourself, not rushing yourself, not caring if you have to rush, don't rush yourself. Telling yourself that you have all the time in the world because time is linear, you begin to learn the truth about things. It is a spiritual journey like no other. A spiritual chrysalis is what I like to call, it's a Dutch oven of truth. It's a Dutch oven of truth. Because baby, when you in a Dutch oven, baby, everything in that Dutch oven go cook. It's gonna be cooked and it ain't gonna be raw no more. You gonna know the truth. You gonna know if your food done or not in a Dutch oven. And I'm gonna sip to that one. Woo! A spiritual chrysalis can often be the time when most people separate themselves from people. You're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And everybody's looking at you like you're crazy. What do you mean you don't want to do this anymore? 14, 14. What do you mean you don't want to do this anymore? You've been doing this all your life. A spiritual chrysalis. It looks like what it looks like. It looks like somebody separating themselves from everything that they know. They're no longer hanging out with the same friends anymore. They no longer eat the same things. They're starting to notice that their body doesn't like certain things, and every time they eat this, their body reacts to it a certain way. And sometimes they notice how their body reacts to certain people, so they begin to stay away from them. It's a spiritual chrysalis. Now, And if somebody else uses this, y'all know y'all heard it here first. A spiritual chrysalis. All right? And it's the reason why I'm using that. Most people think of a spiritual transformation as, oh, the person just goes back to church. You'll try church. You'll try church. That's not where it ends. That's just the beginning of it. So you begin to dissect whether or not you believe in that. Do I believe in this? Is this my belief system? Why did I always do this? I started realizing the things that I did were imposed on me and I was trained to do them as a child. And so then I started realizing, is this what I'm supposed to do for my children? Is this what I actually believe in? What is that smell? It's something going on outside. It must be someone exhaust. And my nose is so sensitive right now. You notice you go on a spiritual journey. When you're in a spiritual chrysalis, you begin to notice how your body reacts to people, places, and things. You notice what makes your body happy, what doesn't. You notice if you're forcing things. If you're forcing a conversation, shoot, you'll even notice whether or not you want to answer the phone. You'll begin to pay attention. And usually when you're in a spiritual chrysalis, you're not talking to anybody. Nobody really speaks to you at that time. It's amazing when you're going through a spiritual transformation and you're in your spiritual chrysalis, no one calls you. You're crying, having these fits, going up and down with your emotions, wondering why. What the hell is wrong with me? I never cried before. I was like that. I wouldn't cry at anything. One time, I was dating someone and they cried. I laughed in their face. And I said, "What are you crying for?" Unlearned, honey. I didn't know how to accept that. I saw my family cry, men in my family cry, but I was crying for. You see, it's unlearned issues. You have to unlearn. You begin to unlearn things. It's like men aren't supposed to cry. Men are supposed to do this. Men are supposed. You unlearn these whomever designated positions that people come up with for male and female genders, and then you find out that gender doesn't even matter. Energy does, because you have male and female energy within you. It's called yin and yang, which is your chi, which people are energy vampires. And you start to notice how you feel when you're around certain people. But when you're going through a spiritual transformation and you're in a spiritual chrysalis, let me tell you something, babies. No one understands what you're going through. They say they do. Oh, I understand. They don't understand a damn thing because they haven't gone through it. When someone has gone through a spiritual transformation and a spiritual chrysalis, let me tell you what they say. It's going to be all right. Call me when you start having night sweats. Call me when you're awake at the middle of the night, when something wakes you up in the middle of the night and have you researching and reading stuff, ordering books on things, and you're ordering them to come by quickly, come to you, delivered to you in the next day. Talk to me when you get there. See, people, not everybody goes through it the same way, but it's the same symptoms because everything is being unlearned and being redefined. Foundations are being crumbled. Just by you being in a spiritual chrysalis, it's just like a caterpillar being in a chrysalis. Things have to be shed in order for things to be rebirthed. Okay? That's basically it. You can't do that being around everyone. All right? I wanted to share that with you today. Hey, do me a favor. If you like what I just that information I just given to you and you would like for me to pour more into you, meaning, and you're going to give me the permission to pour into you, hit the subscribe button and like and share this video. Share this with a friend. If it resonated with you, it'll definitely resonate with someone else. As I stated before, we're all here to learn. Earth is a school. And it's a big, gigantic school where we're here to learn. So definitely, if anything I've said today has resonated with you in any kind of way, definitely click that like button and share it. And don't forget, hit the notification button too. I don't know what side it's on, whether it's this side or that side. You know where it's at, so hit it. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. I love you all so much. And remember, now it's time for us to live in full engagement, not just living, learning to living in full engagement. It's time for us to live in full engagement. And you can only do that when you go within, because that's where Spirit Source God, the divine, is waiting for you and dwelling and waiting for you to come and sit and let's converse with each other. Let's have a conversation. Pull up a chair. I'm ready to talk. All right. So I love you all so very much. And I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to connect with me, be sure to do so. I'm on all social platforms. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube. Oh, be sure to follow my other page, my other channel, which is my vlog, my personal vlog channel, which is Doree Speaks and Sips. And you'll see that the only thing we sip on is water. I sip to that. Okay. I love you all so very much, and I look forward to sharing more with you. Meet me back here next time. Okay. And turn on that notification button so you'll know when the next one is coming up. 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 I love you all so very much. And the girls trying to act up right now. They be showing out, y'all. I love you guys. Smooches.